All right, guys, back with another little car rant here. I did cardio at home today. My mom babysits my niece pretty much Thursdays and Fridays, so I just do cardio at home on those days, and then I drop her off there, because right now I'm using her car, because obviously my car is still in Vegas, which that was quite the experience in itself. That car was like supposed to be a guaranteed pickup. So I came home to Jersey on a Wednesday, and they were supposed to pick up my car guaranteed Thursday, Friday. Well, Thursday and Friday I come around and there was nothing guaranteed. So they lied, and I was having Danilo hand them the keys to bring it back to Jersey, but he was flying out Saturday morning, so that's why it was we needed it Thursday or Friday, and they told us guaranteed he will have it Thursday or Friday, and I paid half up front. So yeah, didn't get that, and now we're just trying to get my money back and they're fighting us on that too, so that's great. But no, so the point of this video, I've been doing, obviously you guys know I've been doing therapy, and I honestly been really enjoying doing the therapy. And yesterday we got into, or Wednesday, I'm sorry, we got into like really, like depth about, my childhood traumas, and kind of what I've been through, when I was molested and things like that. And one thing we really got deep really deep about was, being angry all the time, really holding on to that anger. And, she asked me, what is the pros to not letting go of it and holding on to all that anger? And I was like, nothing. Like, there's no pro to being angry. Angry sucks. Honestly, when you think about it, and I even said to her, I said, I'd rather be upset. I'd rather cry than be angry. You know what I mean? Like, angry sucks. And she said, well, listen, there's got to be a pro. There's got to be a reason why you're not letting it go, and why you just hold on to all this shame from all of it. And I was like, and then it clicked, and I'm like, bodybuilding. I used all of that anger and frustration in bodybuilding. I believe that anger, that frustration is what got me to where I'm at today in bodybuilding. It got me to the success that I feel it's gotten me to. And I feel like that's why I'm afraid of letting that go, because I use that during the training sessions. I use that, for like anything I need for motivation and things like that. And, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think what's bad is not using it for anger during training sessions to really push past barriers. But I think the bad thing is I still hold on to it as shaming myself, and being embarrassed for letting, I guess, it happen, for not opening my mouth, for not standing up for myself, for not, do something about it sooner. And I hold that shame, and I hold that, I guess, I don't want to say guilt, because it's not necessarily guilt, but definitely it's just shame. And I guess because of what I think it's done for me in bodybuilding, I'm afraid. And I just think I need to find a new perspective on what can drive me to be a better bodybuilder, and what I can do to use as motivation. And I'm not saying you can't use it every now and then and tap into it, but I think the first step is forgiving, and not taking responsibility for something that was completely out of your control as a young kid. And this goes for like anybody out there that's obviously not even going through the same traumas as me, but traumas period. You don't have control of what happened to you as a child. You're a child, you're innocent. You don't know any better. And the only things we can do as we get older is kind of learn from that, accept that's, going to be a part of us now, but not let it consume us, not let it control us, not let it be, not let it define us on what our future holds, but use it for something good, express how we dealt with it, how we got better from it, how we moved on from it. And I think that's just the hard part for me is shame, because I look at myself now and I think, it's made me better in the sense where now I don't take anyone's crap. I don't hold anything in. If I got something on my mind, I say it, if I feel a certain type of way, if I feel threatened, if something's bothering me, if something makes me happy, if something's making me angry, if something's making me sad, I just express it. And I think that's just obviously due to the fact that, when I was younger, I went through those experiences. I didn't do that. I didn't open up. I was scared. And I hid. And as I got older, I realized how crappy the situation really was. And, I guess that's where I just really grew angry from. And now what I'm trying to do now is I wake up every morning, I look at myself in the mirror and I say, I'm not sorry for things I'm not responsible for that happened to me as a child. And I think the more I'll keep repeating that to myself, the more I will believe it, and the more I'll be able to just truly forgive and let go of those things. And that goes for anyone out there, again, that's going through it. I know that this can consume a lot of people and really just kind of take over their lives. And it's sad, it really is just sad. Because, to a degree, it's happened to me. I let it consume me. But, I want to be able to tell a story and help others through it. Hey, you don't have to let this become, your motivation. You don't have to let this become who you are and define you. You're better than it. Accept it. This happened, but don't blame yourself. Don't hold that shame over yourself for something you couldn't control, for something that was out of your control, for something that was just kind of like a freak accident, for lack of a better word. And yeah, as much as it sucks, that's the truth. Because at the end of the day, as good as a bodybuilder I am, I want to keep improving and working on myself every single day. And, therapy has truly helped. I used to be against therapy for so long. I'm why am I going to go talk to somebody, that's getting paid to listen to my story? I don't know. I just didn't ever feel genuine to me. But I'm very fortunate enough that I found a therapist that's very genuine, that definitely, I feel like she truly cares, and I feel very comfortable with, and then I feel like I can really open up to her, and she's really cool, and I really like her a lot. But the point is, we should not ever take responsibility for our childhood traumas. We are not responsible for what happened to us. We are responsible for what we do about it afterwards, for sure. But we are not responsible for what goes on after. And I just want everyone to know, you're not alone. And it doesn't even have to be what I went through. If you're going through some mental battles, mental issues, whatever the case is, hey, you're not alone. We're all here. We're all in this together. So, yeah, that's kind of what I have for today. Again, if you guys ever want me to get more in touch or more in depth about situations like this and, what I've been able to really work on and overcome. You know, I'm always here to help. You know, anyone who knows me knows I'm always here to help and play that role for people. So, yeah, just takeaway message here, guys. You're not responsible for what happened in your childhood, but you are responsible for how you go about it in your future. So, yeah, that's what I got for today. Happy Friday. Hope everyone enjoys the day. We got legs today. Filming for HD, which will be awesome. So, yeah, have a good day.